Okay, so we're going to be doing TSA Oxford 2020, question 45. First, let's read the question itself, right? Which of the following can be drawn as a conclusion from the above passage? That's important, as a conclusion. So when the question on TSA is asking you what is drawn as a conclusion, I think this is where you must not overthink. You have to read exactly what the text says, and unless the text is asking you or somehow suggesting that you should be speculating or drawing other conclusions, you should stick with exactly what's written. Don't bring in your personal experiences, your personal opinions. Those are not relevant. Stick to what the author of the text is trying to convey in their writing. So, the UK is the most researched nation on earth. Some £60 per head is spent each year on surveys, polls, consumer panels, and questionnaires, more per capita than any other country, according to Market Research Society. No wonder many Brits are suffering from survey fatigue and refuse to fill out questionnaires. This reluctance to participate is very likely to have contributed to incorrect polling predictions in several elections. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward, right? Like, the UK sees a lot of research. There's a ton of pollsters and surveys and questionnaires being sent to people, and a lot of Brits are having survey fatigue. They don't even want to participate. The participation is likely to have contributed to incorrect polling predictions in several elections. Okay, so pretty straightforward argument, and it makes sense, and it's very relevant to what we're seeing, especially with the UK election, Brexit, parliamentary elections in the UK. It is relevant. Okay, anyways, which one of the following can be drawn as a conclusion? Opinion polls in the UK are less accurate than in other countries. Okay, well, this is possible, right? Because we're thinking, okay, well, if Brits are suffering from survey fatigue, then the polls are certainly less accurate. But it's saying less accurate than in other countries, and simply we don't know enough. Just because more money is spent in the UK per capita than any other country, that doesn't tell us about the accuracy of other countries. Perhaps in other countries, there are other factors that lead to very low accuracy. So we can't conclude anything about the UK's accuracy relative to other countries. All we know is that there is a likely contribution to inaccurate polling due to survey fatigue in the UK. We can't compare to other countries based on this passage. So A is not it. B says, it is impossible to predict accurately how people will vote in a given election. Okay, well, that's kind of a given, right? That is that's kind of just a general understanding about how polling works. Does this passage actually tell us that? Again, this is the part about not bringing in your personal understandings or your personal opinions or things or your prior knowledge into the situation. Check what the passage says. Does the passage talk about the impossibility or possibility of accurately predicting how people will vote? And no, the passage talks about survey fatigue and how overpolling is leading to less accurate polling predictions. It's not actually telling us that it's difficult or impossible to predict how people will vote in a given election. So this is not really a conclusion that the passage is even talking about. Survey fatigue is the main reason why polling can give inaccurate predictions. Main reason. It doesn't exactly say that here. It says that survey fatigue is very likely to have contributed to incorrect polling predictions, but it doesn't say that survey fatigue was the primary cause, the predominant cause, the major cause, or the leading cause. It doesn't say that. It just says that it contributed. Contributed doesn't mean main reason. So this is not a conclusion that the passage is trying to draw. More polling does not necessarily give a more accurate picture of popular opinion. Interesting. This is very similar to what the passage is saying. because the passage is saying that even though you're spending £60 per head on the UK population, even though you're doing all this polling, you're getting incorrect polling predictions because of high survey fatigue. So this does sound like a conclusion that the passage is trying to lead us to. So we're going to mark D for now. E. To get an accurate picture of people's voting intentions, we should not rely on use of a questionnaire. So the passage isn't arguing for the effectiveness, for or against the effectiveness of a questionnaire, right? It says that people are refusing to fill them out, but it doesn't, for example, suggest, oh, maybe we should use in-person telephone calls or some kind of online survey. It doesn't say that. It doesn't argue for any other type of method. It doesn't say that questionnaires are necessarily bad. All it's saying is that survey fatigue is contributing to people not filling out the questionnaires. That doesn't make questionnaires bad, less effective. The passage is not trying to argue that. So E is not the answer. Again, we thought D was right. D is the correct answer in this passage. More polling does not necessarily give a more accurate picture of popular opinion.